Hi, everyone. This is Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Show. Today, we're going to be speaking to Jason Clarke. Jason Clarke is a broker owner in Kingston, Ontario. He's been with the Craig Proctor system for a number of years. Jason, welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show.
Thanks for having me, Craig.
So give us a little background about how you found Craig Proctor and what's been happening since.
Well, I'm originally from Mississauga, moved out to BC back in 2012, and eventually found my way to become a realtor in 2017. And in 2000, we had a child in 2015, and we figured let's move back east. So I chose Kingston because it was in the middle of between where I grew up and where my wife grew up in Montreal, and came here and started over my real estate career. And a friend of mine showed me a Craig Proctor super conference binder. So I started to read it, and I'm like, this is good stuff.
So what year was that in?
That was in fall of 2019.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what when you got involved with us, what changed immediately as far as your mindset, what you were thinking about your real estate business? How did that change? And how has your business progressed since that point?
What changed was the way I marketed. So instead of, I did marketing about the customer, so to get them to call me. And since I started doing that, and it's actually only been a year and a half, and in that time frame, my business has quadrupled. And since I've now opened your home sold brokerage, which just opened in August. So big changes to the business in the way I think.
What were you doing prior to working with me? You said, your marketing became all about the client, the customer. What type of marketing, or how did you attract your clients prior to joining up with me?
I was doing a whole lot of marketing. I was doing direct mail. I dabbled in some TV. But the message was totally different. It was more about me, and it was still a come to the office and hope the phone rings type situation.
So when you say the messages were about me, give me a couple of examples of what your advertising would say. Call Jason. We sell homes smarter than the average agent.
Right. I had sellsmarter.ca. I put a little program together, but it was, right. But it really didn't work.
We call that Me Too advertising. So
yeah.
Pretty much you're saying, I'm a real estate agent. Here's my company logo. Yeah. I work hard. I do a good job.
Yeah.
And so your experience with marketing was something you were doing, but you weren't really getting great results from that.
Exactly.
And were you doing any cold calling or prospecting at that time?
I was generating online leads with some of the companies, and you'd call them and they don't even know who you are and hang
right.
up on you, and just not enjoyable way to spend your day. Yeah.
So when you started with the Craig Proctor system, what were the first few things that you did? Just, for those listening,
yeah.
That's a question we get quite often is, hey, Craig, what makes you different? Maybe, they've done coaching before, maybe they haven't, but what is the first changes, the first things you implemented to see big results when you joined up with us?
The first thing I did was start implementing all of the guarantees in your whole system, and implementing day after day, just kept going and giving the, your home sold guarantee or I'll buy it.
We see two of those, one flanked over either shoulder there.
Yeah.
So your home sold guaranteed or will buy it.
Yeah.
We'll talk a bit about that. And then off your other shoulder there, it says, love your new home guaranteed or will buy it back. There's a lot of misunderstandings about the guarantee. There's, misconceptions. This is something we want to get into a bit of detail here today,
mm-hmm.
to let you know that this is something that the sellers and the buyers really want. They want a guarantee. And that's why we have iBuyer companies all over the United States and Canada that will give sellers an instant offer. So, we can't say this is not a thing, because thousands of sellers are immediately selling their home for cash to iBuyer companies. So as real estate agents, our defense mechanism is, well, maybe the seller is taking way less than what the house is worth. And maybe that's true in some situations. But the offers from the iBuyer companies have definitely been improving. And many of those offers are at market value or slightly under. So what we're talking about here is a convenience factor. We're talking about giving prospects confidence that when they buy a home, they won't get stuck owning two homes. So if you're watching this right now, you may have some preconceived notions as to our guarantees. You might think, well, we just lowball people, but that's not true, because understand that when we offer a seller a guarantee, they get the guarantee upfront in writing. And if we sell their home for more than the upfront written guarantee we give the seller, we give the seller the higher price. So we never take the higher price. The seller always gets the higher price, whether it's our upfront offer to them in writing, or they get a superior offer from an outside buyer. So that really makes this better than the iBuyer companies, where you just get a price and that's the price you got to live with. And if they sell it for more money, they get the money. The reason sellers love this, of course, is as the market is slowing down, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get your house sold. And it's easy for a real estate agent to say to a client, well, just go buy your next home and don't worry, your house will sell. But of course, that doesn't always happen. So this is like an insurance policy that you're offering your home sellers in your marketplace, so they don't get stuck owning two homes.
Correct.
Now, the love your new home guaranteed or will buy it back. Explain that one, because it's sort of like the guaranteed sale, but kind of flipped around to benefit buyers.
Yeah. So the way that works is homeowners, especially in the last couple of years when people were having to bid on homes, sometimes they're buying a home they don't even want. So what I guarantee with that is if they bought a home and in the first 18 months, they decided, hey, I don't like this home anymore, I will sell it for free. So I'm going to guarantee that I'll find them a new home. They'll still have to pay the outside agent who's coming in, but basically there's going to be no cost to them on my end for selling a home. I'll handle all the marketing and everything, and I'll still also give them a guarantee on their home.
Yeah, and that way, you can say to your buyers, hey, I'm not one of these real estate agents that's just trying to sell you a house. I want to sell you the right house.
Yeah.
And, over the last couple of years where the market was super hot, buyers felt very pressured to make an immediate decision on a house. And they were, they didn't have time to think about it. They were usually going in with cash offers, no condition. It wasn't conditional on a home inspection. They just weren't able to do that if they wanted to be successful and get the house. So, buyers sometimes move into a home and it's not what they were hoping for, right? You don't know who your neighbors are going to be, for example. So this is a guarantee that we would give a buyer that's unique in the industry, that if you buy a home using our services and you're not thrilled with that home, you can decide the time period, 12 months or 18 months. We'll sell your house for free. We won't charge you a listing commission as long as you buy your next home through us. Now, some of our members would even say, if you're not happy with your home, we'll buy it back as long as you buy another home using our services. But of course, we're not promising to buy it back at the price they paid for, anything like that, to be what it's worth now. The reason these guarantees work really, really well is it helps you as a real estate agent set yourself apart from all the other real estate agents. And we're in a flooded market. Since the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs and a lot of those people got their real estate license. And now that the sales are slowing down, the watering hole's getting smaller, but we've got this huge herd of real estate agents who are mostly doing and saying what you were doing and saying, Jason, before you met me. They're saying, call me. I work hard. I'm going to do a good job. I have lots of experience. I guarantee great results. The word guarantee is loosely used by many real estate agents, but there's no teeth to the guarantee because it says, I guarantee great service, but, or what? Well, there is no what, I guarantee to sell your house, or what? Or it'll expire, right? So our guarantees are very unique because they're in writing, they're very specific, and there's a consequence. There's something that happens if we don't fulfill the promise that we make. And so one of the biggest trends today, not just in real estate, everywhere, is skepticism. So the more that you can do to set yourself apart from other agents and give upfront written guarantees. And we teach you how to do this. We teach you how to use specific guarantees so you make a lot of money. Obviously, this is not something Jason or our members are doing to lose money, which brings into, some of the questions like, well, gee, Jason, wouldn't you get stuck owning a whole bunch of houses? Or I couldn't afford to do this. And of course, we kind of like it when other agents have these preconceived notions, because that means they're probably not going to do what you're doing because they don't understand it. But this is really just math. Did you have some of those feelings when you began with us, when you first heard about the guaranteed sale program? Were you thinking, well, that's probably something that others can do and I can't, or did you kind of jump on it right away?
I did have that preconceived notion of it, but I did jump on it right away once I understood it. And even like when my friend handed me the binder, he's like, it's kind of gimmicky, but it's some good stuff in there. So.
Yeah, realtors will sometimes say it's gimmicky, but we could say that all advertising is gimmicky. I'll give you an example. I've heard this from realtors. Well, that's just the guaranteed sale program, these very specific and powerful guarantees that you guys offer.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just gimmicks to get people to call you, or this is a bait and switch, that not everyone that calls you gets the guarantee, which is true. They have to qualify for the guarantee. There's certain they have to move up and buy one of our listings.
We don't take every listing.
Right. But I could push back and I could cite the following example. I could say, well, in a way, all real estate agents could be accused of using gimmicks or bait and switch, because let me give you an example. Every time a real estate agent advertises one of their listings, when you advertise your listing, you already know that 90% of the people that inquire are not going to buy that property, right? You're baiting buyers to call you because you're advertising one of your listings. But really what happens is 90% of the buyers that contact you, once you give them the information on the property, they're going to tell you it's too big, it's too small, it's in the wrong location, or whatever. And you would say, well, you're not going to let them just get off the phone. You'd probably say to them, well, what are you looking for? And then you would tell them about other properties that match their criteria that you probably don't have listed. Your brokerage doesn't have listed. It's something else in MLS. Mm-hmm. So in a way, every real estate agent that promotes one of their listings could be accused of bait and switch, right? The property you advertise is the bait. 90% of the buyers that call you are not going to buy it. You're going to find out what the buyer wants, and you're going to switch them on to another property. So it kind of makes me laugh a bit. Advertising is about getting people that want to buy and sell real estate to call you. Okay, so that's what we want to focus on. Would everyone agree that you have a couple choices here? You can not advertise at all, and you can go out and you can knock on doors and make cold calls, or pester your friends and family for referrals. That's kind of the old school techniques. Or you could decide, okay, I'm going to do some marketing and not be coached up on marketing, and basically, just look around at what all the other realtors are doing when it comes to marketing. Just like Jason did. Yeah. He's buying leads here and there. He's saying, Jason's a nice guy. I'm hardworking. I'm experienced. But you're not going to set yourself apart from the other realtors. And if you're doing that type of marketing, probably what has happened is you might have a negative perception about marketing and advertising because you've spent a lot on it and you haven't got a lot in return. Okay, so there is a possibility for some of you watching it right now that you may believe that marketing or advertising is an expense, because it is if you don't know what you're doing, right? If you're spending money advertising and promoting and you're not getting a return on that investment, it is an expense. So what we want to coach you up on is smart, effective, really automatic marketing, smart modern marketing that attracts buyers and sellers and actually does some of the sifting and sorting and some of the heavy lifting for you. So Jason, the best call that you would get are calls into the office that say, hey, Jason, do you want to come over and list my house?
Yeah, come listen.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So that's what we work hard to do is, since it's really difficult to get buyers and sellers on the phone, right? If you're buying leads, you're cold calling, it's been getting more difficult and more difficult over the years to actually get the prospect to pick up the phone. But on the strength of your marketing, what if you could do such a great job in your marketplace that people not only knew who you were, but they understand why you were different and better than the other realtors, and then they're calling you, right? You don't have to worry about them not picking up the phone if they're calling you. And frankly, that's how you get rich in real estate. That's how I did it. I did basically the opposite of what most agents do. Many of you know my story. I was the #1 real estate agent in the world for RE/MAX, for the entire franchise of RE/MAX worldwide, within 3 years of having my real estate license. Well, how did I do that? Well, the first year I was failing. I did what most of you do. I looked around at the other real estate agents and I copied them and I cold called and door knocked and chased for sale by owners and expired listings. It wasn't until I stumbled onto direct response marketing. As the name suggests, it's very different from image or brand advertising. With direct response, it means you're getting an immediate direct response, a return on the money that you spend. And Jason, you nailed it right at the beginning of our interview. You said, I just changed the focus of my marketing instead of on, here's Jason, instead of promoting Jason, the real estate agent, instead of promoting what you had, you started to offer what it was that buyers and sellers wanted.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, well, what was your big secret? How did you go from basically failing as a real estate agent in year 1 to in year 3 becoming the top RE/MAX agent in the world? It was understanding how to market myself. It wasn't like I was the best agent in the world for RE/MAX as far as experience or anything like that. I was new in the business. Mm-hmm. But when I started focusing on what is it that buyers and sellers really want, and how can I make it easy and non-threatening for the buyers to get that, well, my phone blew up and people were calling me. And the truth is, I really didn't have to be that good. When you've got buyers and sellers calling you saying, come and get me, it makes, a lot of the problems you have right now would be solved by using smart modern marketing. Okay, so now that the marketing's working and you're getting busier and busier and busier, how are you going to handle the growth that you have in your business?
I need to hire more outside agents. I need more agents. I actually cannot handle the business I have right now. It's there's stuff falling through the cracks.
You heard it there, folks. I can't handle all the business I have. Now, this is pretty much what I suggested to you would happen, Jason, when you first met. What I would say to an audience of realtors that are they're talking to me for the very first time. Maybe you're listening to me right now on the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show for the very first time. The first problem I solve for real estate agents is I want you to create an abundance of business. Okay. The reason I want to show you how to inexpensively and automatically create an abundance of business is you're going to start to think and operate differently. Okay. First of all, if it's just you'd be able to pick and choose the best buyers and sellers to work with. If you really have too many buyers and sellers coming at you, you wouldn't have to work with everybody. You've got the luxury of choice. I'm going to repeat this again. This is how you get rich selling real estate. some buyers are better than other buyers. Some sellers are better than other sellers. Wouldn't it be great if you just had too much coming at you, too many buyers and sellers, and you had the luxury of choice? What would you do? Well, obviously you'd do what Jason did. You're not going to mess around with the C leads or the D leads. You're going to mess around with the most motivated, most sincere, most ready to act buyers and sellers. But even still, at some point, even though you're sifting and sorting and qualifying the leads and working with the best of the best yourself, you can't even go out on all the appointments.
No.
So why would another real estate agent in your marketplace, why would they want to, so-called give up their independence, and come and partner up with you? Why would they want to do that?
Because their life will change, because I can provide them with actual clients, not leads, people that are ready to buy, ready to list, and they can choose their schedule. If they don't want to work at night because they're taking their son to soccer, we won't put them on the schedule, and they don't have to go on an appointment then. And we'll go to the next person, but they can choose, and they'll have a very good, fulfilling business and have their life back.
Okay, so I want everyone to listen up to this. And if some of you are in Jason's marketplace, if you're in Kingston, Ontario, you want to reach out to him and at least have a conversation about how to partner up with him in some capacity. In other words, if you're excited about this, you don't need to call Craig Proctor. If you're in Jason's area, just call Jason, because everything that you want to do in real estate, Jason's doing right now. But basically, this is what your life would look like if you were part of a Craig Proctor team. And really, I wrote a book a couple years ago. It's called The Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent and the Rise of the Super Profitable Sales Team. Did everybody hear that? The Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent and the Rise of the Super Profitable Sales Team. That was written a number of years ago. It's on Amazon. But my prediction back then, which is, coming completely true, is it's going to be very difficult for the solo agent to survive. That you're either going to create your own super profitable sales team, or you're going to work at somebody else's. And there's nothing wrong with either one of those choices. If you were, let's say that you were to work with Jason on his team. Let's first of all talk about what you would never have to do again. First of all, because Jason pays for all the marketing and advertising, and he's an expert at it, because I've made him an expert at it. You don't have to mess around with where the business is coming from. You don't have to spend a penny of your money on advertising or marketing. In fact, if you're an outside sales agent, you wouldn't even get leads. The leads would go to the inside sales agents. The inside sales agents would call all the leads, qualify them, determine their motivation and timing, and the best of the best buyers and sellers are booked for appointments. You would be booked for these appointments, as Jason said, at your convenience. You would be able to adjust your day timer. If you want to take Saturdays off or Thursday evenings off, that's fine. We have other agents on the team to give the appointments to. So you can have a life, you can set your own schedule. You have zero marketing costs. You don't have to, make cold calls, door knock. You don't have to do all that stuff you don't like. Instead, here's what you do. You simply go to the preset listing and buyer appointments that Jason's team has set up for you. You just show up, and Jason coaches you up on the presentation. So he basically gives you the Craig Proctor listing presentation and buyer presentation. First, I coached Jason up on how to be an awesome listing presenter and have an awesome listing buyer presentation. And now, because he's really good at it, he can teach you how to do it. So he spends a fair amount of time with the team with one focus in mind: how you can make more money. The more money you make, the more money Jason makes. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. So you go out to the appointment, you do the exact presentation that you're given, and when the listing is signed, and we'll help you get, full commission, get a, like a 6-month listing. We'll show you how to do it all, get it priced right. When the listing is signed, you don't have to run around doing all the normal stuff. You don't have to, get keys cut. You don't have to take pictures of the house. You don't have to install the lockbox. You don't have to make the feature sheets. You don't have to broker load. All that is done by Jason's admin team. All you have to do is go to the next appointment and go to the next appointment.
We even do the CMA for you. We do
Even
all
do
the
the CMA,
information.
right? So let's just say if your average commission was $20,000, that might be high depending on what market you're in.
Yeah.
But you're going to do some kind of split with Jason depending on your production. But you could literally make about $5,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Right? An hour listing the house, an hour presenting the offer. This is pretty good money. Okay. And that's why this is an attractive offer for those of you that are interested in either doing this yourself, like Jason's doing. You can either do this yourself, join up with Craig Proctor, learn how to create your own super profitable sales team. Or if you're in Jason's area, or you're in an area where I have a successful team leader, we can refer you and get you set up for at least a conversation. Now, if you want to speak to me about how to do what Jason's doing, if you want to make more money, you want to work less, you want to have a real business. Many of you know I've created more millionaire real estate agents than either coach or trainer or guru out there. I've been doing this for over 30 years. You can book a call with me, okay, and my team. You can book a call with my team and I, and all you have to do, if you have a pen handy, is go to proctorcall.com. So my name, Proctor, call, no space, proctorcall.com. That's a clickable link. You can go to my acuity day timer. You can pick a day and a time that works for you, and we'll have a conversation. There's no downside to having a conversation. We're not going to sell you anything. We're just going to explain what we do, okay? We would ask you questions about, well, what are you doing right now? You know, what's your production level? Well, let's say you said, I'm doing 25 transactions. Well, what would you like to do? Oh, my goal is 50. Well, why are you not doing 50? Well, because I don't know how. Or you would tell us why. You know, you're doing 25, like why are you not doing your goal? There's an obstacle that you have. If there wasn't, you'd already be reaching your goal. So go to proctorcall.com and you can book a consultation with my team and I. You'll find it incredibly beneficial. Now, if you're in Kingston, Ontario, you don't need to call me. I'm going to recommend that you reach out to Jason Clarke and have a conversation about partnering up with him in some capacity. Okay, you could be, maybe you want to be an inside sales agent where you make a salary and you get a commission and you're basically in the office calling the leads. That's a good position for some of you that want to work a set 40-hour work week. You want a guaranteed salary plus commission. Or maybe you're an outside sales agent that wants to make a couple $100,000 a year or more net in your pocket, and you don't want to mess around with all of this stuff you're messing around with right now that doesn't make you money. Let me repeat this again. You would do nothing except for going out on listing appointments and buyer appointments. That's it. Yeah. Everything else is taken off your plate. How much more money could you make if that was true for you? If you were literally, if all you did all day long was go from listing appointment to buyer appointment, and you didn't have to mess around with all the other stuff that you do all day long, you would not only make way more money, you would have a lot more time for your life. And by the way, if I can remind everyone, isn't that why we got into real estate in the first place? We wanted to make more money and we wanted to have more time in our life. Jason, what would be the best way for people to reach you if they want to speak to you?
Well, they can call me or text me direct right at the number at the top there, 613-985-7653, 985 sold. Or you just go right to the website, workwithjason.ca. It will take you right to the page that explains on it being an OSA with my company.
What we'll do is we'll take your contact information and my contact information, and we'll type it down below, okay, in the comments. So you'll know how to book a call with me at proctorcall.com, and you'll also know how to reach Jason.
And you can be busy tomorrow.
You can be busy tomorrow. Now, Jason, before we wrap this up, any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Just want to say that this system works, and all this marketing that I'm putting together on a daily basis is changing my life, and I want to change other people's lives. And a portion of all the money we make, we give to local charities, which is now in turn changing my community's lives. And I'm grateful I found you guys. It's awesome.
Well, I'm glad you found us too, Jason. You've done a great job. What's your goal for next year?
Goal for next year, I want to help 200 families next year.
200 families. That's a great goal.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm really glad you found us. I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Wonderful interview. I'm happy everybody gets to know you a little bit better here. Don't be shy about this. Reach out to Jason. You want to hear his story. It's inspiring, and you can do what he's doing, right? If you're in Kingston, Ontario, you know who this guy is. Pick up the call, give him a shout, have a conversation. That's where all good things start. So we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching this issue of the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. And Jason, thanks again for doing this. Everyone have a great day. And remember, proctorcall.com. Let's set up a time and have a conversation.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.